how did the idea came up with like, oh, let me start my own business?
At one point, pesaba 245 libras. So I wanted to be beautiful in my own skin and love myself. So that's where Enhanced by Cindy came out. Quiero ayudar a mejorarte. Yo llegué a un punto de que no me sentía bonita.
Did you get bullied?
Yeah, growing up, I'm short. Estaba chaparrita, gordita, cachetona, curly hair. Y todos decían, ahí viene la novia de Chucky. Like, I never had a boyfriend growing up. Mi mamá pensó que era lesbiana a un punto. When I was 17, there was a really bad snowstorm and my mom had a car accident. Y de ahí quedó paralyzed. Cuando mi mamá tuvo ese accidente, estuve en coma 6 meses. The doctors la querían desconectar. We knew she was paralyzed. We didn't know how bad it was until she woke up 6 months later. And then slowly just things kind of went downhill like any person that gets really sick. I'm not blessed that I lost my mom because of a car accident, but I'm blessed that I had a mom that pushed me to be better. Mi mamá siempre me recordó de que tienes que amarte a ti misma porque nadie más lo va a hacer.
What role does your husband have in your business?
He's the one that has... Oh my God.
It's okay.
Honestly, he's like I tell him all the time, I don't know what I would do without him.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Desde hace rato lo vengo notando, qué hermosa estás. Y yo quisiera invitarte a una copa, tal vez bailar.
Hi, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of El Punto MN. Today we have a special guest, someone who is very talented. But before I go on and introduce her, I want to thank you guys por todo el apoyo que nos han brindado en YouTube, en Instagram, en Facebook y hasta TikTok. Y por eso les queremos dar la invitación de que nos sigan en nuestro YouTube, que se suscriban, igual en TikTok y en Instagram como El Punto MN y en Facebook como El Punto MN. Y pues también a mí, gracias por todo el apoyo que me han brindado, igual pues como les digo, al Punto MN. Bueno, vamos a presentar a nuestra invitada especial y bueno, voy a dejar que ella introduce herself.
Hola, buenas tardes. Soy Cindy. Muchos me conocen por Enhanced by Cindy. I do body sculpting. I started almost a year ago. In July, it's going to be already como si nada.
Wow, look at that.
I know, right?
Time flies, girl.
Right? So I do a little bit of wood therapy, ice sculpting. I do machine cavitation, vacuums, like BBLs, everything that a lot of girls are wanting to get done now, and needleless injections. So that's something I bring out to introduce to you guys.
So Cindy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that how most people know you by, Cindy?
So my real name is Cynthia, and a lot of people don't really know me by Cynthia, for the reason that the only ones that would call me Cynthia was at school, o mi mamá. Mm-hmm. Growing up at school, todos me empezaron a decir Cindy, so a mí como que me quedó la costumbre de Cindy. Y cuando todos dicen, ¿quién es Cynthia? Or like, oh, Cynthia, talk to me, like, ¿quién es? You know, like.
Yeah, so is Cindy your middle name or?
No.
It's just like.
Cindy is my first name. So
okay.
My middle name is Isabel.
Okay.
So it's Cynthia Isabel.
Okay.
So it's a little complicated, but you'll know me by Cindy.
So is that why you decided to name your business Enhanced by Cindy?
So when I was going around asking my close friends and family members, I gave them an opinion. Like, I wanted their opinion. Like, it meant a lot to me. When I told my mom before she passed away, I kind of told her, like, Mami, quiero empezar un business. ¿Qué piensas? O ¿qué me dices tú? Y me dijo, hazlo. I don't want you to stop yourself. I want you to keep growing and do what you have to do. Y le pregunté, ¿cómo quieres que le ponga? Yo le quise poner Enhanced by, y toda mi familia me conoce por Tita. Nadie sabe mi apodo, pero mi mamá me dice, no, Tita, que quede entre familia y todos que te conozcan por la persona que tú eres afuera de la casa. Y me dice, puede ser Cynthia, puede ser Cindy, como tú lo quieras poner, o Isa. And I'm like, but a lot of people don't know my middle name. So I'm like, lo voy a quedar como Cindy. So then I asked my 3 really close best friends, and I asked them, like, hey, what do you guys think about me naming my business? And I'm like, I already have moms. She said no to Tita. And they all said no. they're like, we all know you by Cindy, so lo vas a dejar como Cindy. Y así es como quedó. Y empezó Enhanced by Cindy.
So when this question came up, like, oh, how do I name my business? How did the idea came up with like, oh, let me start my own business? How did that happen?
So, I at one point pesaba 245 libras. Y como cualquier otra muchacha, creo que llegamos a un punto como que quieres bajar de peso y buscas soluciones cómo bajar de peso. Well, my first solution was I want to get surgery. Quiero mommy makeover. Like, I'm going to save up and do all this. And then I started going on TikTok, like Instagram, like every day. Like, we all have those nights que no duermes and you're just scrolling and look at new things from other places. And I started paying attention that in California, en Las Vegas, and then Mexico, está todo lo que está de moda de madera, la máquina para quemar grasa. And I told my husband, I'm like, maybe I should do this to myself and then I can introduce it to other girls. And my husband's like, do it. Like, why you stop yourself? Just do it. Don't even think about it. So I started looking and researching quién me podía entrenar. Y I, like, of course, you have to look qué te ofrecen, qué te van a dar, o qué viene en el paquete de que te entrenan. Y cada vez que yo preguntaba, sentía que nomás te tiraban el precio y te decían, oh, it's just a training of 2 days. And I'm a hands-on person, so yo quería que me entrenaran más largo y que me explicaran. Porque conociéndome como soy, me voy a estresar y yo no quería eso. Yo quería aprender bien para yo poder traerlo to, like, en vivo, you know, like, traerlo para que lo pudiera demostrar a otras personas y poder explicarles qué es lo que les voy a hacer, no solo hacerlo. So la muchacha que me entrenó a mí, she's in Vegas, and her business is Enhanced by Lizbeth. And cuando yo le pregunté what did Enhanced by Lizbeth meant, and she's like, well, Lizbeth is me. And then Enhance is just like you're trying to help others, you're trying to, like, become better, you're trying to change. And that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted to help others. I want to change, not myself, but help change others and feel beautiful. Porque llegas a un punto como que no te sientes bonita. Y sientes como que you're following someone else, or you're like, oh, esta se ve bonita, maybe I should try it, and I want to look good too. Y lo que te pones tú no te queda bien a ti, you know, or no le queda bien a otra persona. So I wanted to be beautiful in my own skin and love myself. So that's where Enhanced by Cindy came out.
So that's where I guess, la semillita, ¿no?
Sí.
Se sembró de que,
Sí.
oh, I want to do this for myself, but then I also want to do this and help other people.
Yeah.
You know, I really like how you mentioned, like, I want to, like, tell people, like, what this is about, you know, I, like, almost like you're educating your clients.
Exactly.
You know, I think that's really important. And, you know, in this industry, when we are doing these kind of things, enhancing someone else's beauty, it's good for us to, like, educate our clients and let them know what it is that exactly we're doing.
Exactly.
You know, I'm not really, like, too familiar with everything that you do. I know that I have gotten, like, some massages with you, and I ask you a million questions, you know, about, like, hey, how is this going to help me? Like, what am I going to, you know, see, like, the outcome of certain things that I ask you for? And to me, that's key, you know, when we have our clients, when we want to educate them. Have you, like, thought of, like, I don't know, ever doing any, like, educational courses of this? Because it seems like you're very passionate about it.
I am. And like, todos me preguntan, are you going to add lashes? Or are you going to, like, add anything else? Y creo que I'm, like, people don't know much about me, pero soy bien impaciente. Pero something I learned about me being in my room and doing this to clients, I'm so passionate. Like, I like to walk you through it. I like to explain qué es lo que estoy haciendo. And I have been thinking about it. I have been looking around, like, how can I become a trainer or help others que puedan empezar su propio negocio, porque empecé de cero. Empecé de saving up a little to book my appointment and saving up another little to buy a machine. Y entiendo lo que es querer salir adelante. Yeah, so hopefully it's in the plan.
Yeah. What would you say is, like, your main priority when it comes to doing this for your clients, when it comes to enhance, you know, your client?
Yeah. I always ask, what's your goal?
Okay.
Porque el goal mío puede ser muy diferente al goal de otra muchacha. Y de ese goal tampoco es el mismo de la muchacha que viene después. I like to hear them out, and lo que tú quieres es lo que quiero darte. No solo quiero quitarte el dinero, porque la plata va y viene. Y no es del dinero. It's about making you feel beautiful. It's about giving you a little hope of being like, voy a llegar a ese goal. And that's where I come in. Like, I want to help you. Y como les digo a las muchachas cuando vienen, I'm not here to take your money. I'm not here to make you feel uncomfortable. En caso, like, quiero ayudar a mejorarte. Yo llegué a un punto de que no me sentía bonita. Like, I would put clothes and I would change 1,000 times. And my husband's like, no, that's beautiful. Like, keep it. Y yo no me sentía bonita. Like, I would just take it off. And I'm like, no, ya no quiero salir. Y yo sé que hay muchas afuera que les pasa lo mismo. Y quiero poder ayudarles y mejorar lo que ellos les molestan.
So cuando dices que tú no te sentías beautiful, why? Why would you think that? Did you get bullied or did you like go through any? You did?
Yeah, growing up. I used to be, en la escuela me decían Chucky, la novia de Chucky. I'm short, estaba chaparrita, gordita, cachetona, curly hair, y I used to be a tomboy, so I never had a boyfriend growing up in school. Y todos decían, ahí viene la novia de Chucky. Y nunca entendía por qué me decían así, pero yo llegué al punto que nobody would ask me to date them. Like, I never had a boyfriend growing up. Mi mamá pensó que era lesbiana a un punto.
Oh, sí.
Yeah. Y cuando me sentó y me dijo, you know, it's okay, like, things happen, si quieres platicar, puedes hablar conmigo. Y le digo, no, it's just, no, nadie me pregunta. So, cuando llegas a un punto de que en la escuela te ponen un apodo, and then you go out to the world, and then you see that nobody pays attention to you, and that one person comes and like, oh, you're so beautiful. Like, no te lo crees. Honestly, a lot of people have been like, oh, you look beautiful today, or like, you look pretty, your makeup looks nice, or la camisa que traes puesta se te ve bonita, and like, nadie me lo dijo creciendo. Besides my mom and dad, you know? So llegas a un punto como que te sientes fea, o te sientes que you're not pretty enough. And growing up, los guys, oh, la muchacha está flaquita, está bonita, no les gustan las gorditas. I think now it's the other way, guys like them chunky. Which is nice, you know, like, pero llegas a un punto de que you want to change. And I don't do it for someone else, I do it for myself. You know, like, mi mamá siempre me recordó de que tienes que amarte a ti misma, porque nadie más lo va a hacer. My mom era chaparrita, gordita, morenita, y yo miraba que a ella le coqueteaban todo el tiempo y mirar como si nada, like, psh, no le molestaba. And I'm like, why? Like, ¿qué es la diferencia? Me parezco a ella. Pero no es solo de que te coqueteen, es también que te den el respeto y que digan, okay, you're beautiful, pero el respeto también.
Claro.
Know? Yeah, and I feel like some of us sometimes forget that it's not just about what other people think, it's about what you think about yourself too. Because you got to be happy with with yourself, your body, your soul, and mentally you got to be like, okay, I'm beautiful. I don't care what that person says. I don't care what he has to say or she. Like, she thinks I'm ugly, but I think I'm beautiful. And that's the way that God made me. Yeah.
Exactly.
It took me 28 years to aceptarlo because I'll be 30 this year. Yeah.
So tell us, how has this helped you? Like, how has your journey, would you say is a journey of weight loss? Would you say is a journey, how would you call that journey?
I don't know, Liz. Like, to be honest, I look back and it makes me emotional.
Oh, yeah.
I was 245 on a point, you know?
Yeah.
And llegar a un punto que like, I work in the medical field, I work with kids. The scrubs no me quedaban. I had to go a bigger size. Y vas a la tienda y no te podías poner algo. Like, te sientes incómoda. Or, like, que te digan tus amigas, let's go out. Like, ponte esto y que no te quede lo que tu amiga te está prestando. Te sientes mal, you know? I can tell you that I'm more open. I'm more open to talk about cómo me costó bajar de peso, cómo cambié mi dieta, cómo, like, when I said I went cold turkey, I went cold turkey. I stopped eating out. I stopped drinking liquor. No tomo gaseosa, like chips, fritura, todo eso. Lo como muy poco. Por la razón de que I wanted this for myself. I wanted to be happy. I wanted to enjoy going out and not feeling judged. You know, like, o que te digo, no, ya te acabaste la comida. Like, I wanted to feel comfortable around people and for them to accept me for who I am. Pero al primero tenía que aceptarlo yo antes de que otra persona lo aceptara. So I can tell you guys that it's been a year since I started my journey, and en un año he bajado 95 libras.
Wow.
Yeah. So todo lo que yo ofrezco en Enhanced by Cindy goes by me first, and then it goes by other people. Like, I don't want to bring a product in that's not going to help or benefit anybody. Si no I didn't see a change on me, I'm not going to bring it out. Like, it's pointless. Porque I want someone to see the change the way I did and to enjoy it. Como me preguntan a veces, ¿qué recomiendas? And I'm like, no te puedo recomendar algo porque no sé cómo tu cuerpo lo va a tomar. Like, te puedo recomendar Water because that's my favorite. Like, I enjoy it. Siento que lo tomas de una forma de que yo le pongo la presión y tu cuerpo se va moldeando. La máquina quema grasa, te mueve el skin donde tú quieres que la mueva, but I'm not doing anything. So I feel like that's not me. I want to feel like I'm doing it to you. Like, I'm giving you the contour that you want. Ice sculpting does the same thing as wood therapy, just different tools. It's ice clay with metal. Y cuando me preguntan, ¿qué me recomiendas? I always tell them, let's start with wood therapy, and then we're going to go around trying everything, because your body's going to tell me what it like. Lo que la madera te hizo, tal vez el metal te lo va a hacer mejor. Or lo que la máquina no te hizo nada bien, we won't try it again. We'll try something else. So I always tell them, like, con paciencia vamos a ir viendo lo que tu cuerpo aceptó y cómo lo va a conturar. But I can't tell you, oh, ice therapy te va a hacer todo lo que tú quieres solo por vender un producto, porque el producto va y viene, you know? Like, I'm not gonna sell something que yo sé que no le va a hacer benefit. Like, I want you to come back. I want to enjoy your session. También como tengo en mi website, like, even if you want a quiet session, you can come and tell me, like, girl, just do what you got to do. Don't talk to me. We all have those days que no quieres platicar. Like, we can do that, you know? So, yeah.
Me gusta como mencionaste de que, for example, your journey, you changed your diet, you were eating differently. Is that something that you also advise your clients, or how is it that they're able to see, you know, these results? And the reason why I'm asking is because sometimes I see like a before and after picture, and I'm like, oh my God, like, that's such a big difference, you know? Like, how did they get there? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, what is it that you advise them? Like what you said, don't eat certain things.
Yeah.
I want to know a little bit more about that, and I'm sure our followers will want to know that too.
So cuando a girl books me, I always ask, like, are you diabetic? Are you have high blood pressure? ¿Tienes thyroid? ¿Tienes problemas de piel? Por la razón de we're not supposed to touch you. Like, si tienes diabetes, open wounds, sores can affect you and they don't heal correctly. La alta presión, you got to make sure that you're being treated for it. Open sores can cause an infection. So, si yo te estoy poniendo las cremas, los químicos que yo te estoy poniendo, pueden causar una infección. So, I avoid it. Con la comida, siempre les pregunto si toman agua, si toman alcohol, café. Por la razón de que tienes que venir with 32 ounces or 64 ounces en tu estómago and 2 hours of not eating. Por la razón de que I can make you throw up, I can hurt you, you can feel dizzy, lightheaded. Y es algo que no quieres que pase cuando esté pasando the session. So when they book, I always send a little flyer that I made, and I tell them what I expect. So I always tell them, like, drink your water before coming, no eating before 2 hours, no lotions, like no cremas. Make sure you bring your faja, because la faja after la sesión is good. You should keep it on at least for 4 to 8 hours after, para que lo que conturamos te quede en posición. Y comidas, I always tell them, like, eat less carbs, more protein, more veggies, por la razón de que I'm trying to help you get to your goal. And I can't help you if you don't help yourself. And I'm just giving you the first step, and si tú lo quieres tomar, es tu decisión. Muchas las muchachas me preguntan, ¿tú haces lo mismo? And I'm like, I do. And I'm like, I have even posted it on Instagram, like, don't forget your water today, keep hydrated. Or I do overnight oats for breakfast every day. Por la razón de que I watch what I eat. I try not to eat heavy. Por la razón que la gente mira lo que tú le estás ofreciendo y te mira a ti. Y si tú no le ofreces las cosas correctas como tú lo dices, like, no van a venir, no te van a creer.
Sí, claro, ahí la confianza pues a lo mejor no va a estar si tú no pones también de tu parte.
Yeah. So I listen. I do what I tell you guys to do, you know. Y creo que me ayuda a ser una mejor persona porque no solo te voy ofreciendo mis servicios, pero yo voy aprendiendo de mí misma qué funciona y qué no funciona. Like a couple weeks ago, or like a month ago, puse detox water. ¿Para qué ayuda? El detox ayuda para desinflamar el estómago, para bajar your bloating, te ayuda a ir al baño, te burns fat, te quita el apetito. So cositas así les voy enseñando y les voy like educating, you know, like it's not just about you coming in and going and see you next session. Like, no, like I want you to trust me and come back and be like, hey, what do you think about this? And like I'll give you my honest opinion. So yeah, that's kind of what I do a little bit.
Entonces para ti también es muy importante, obvio, la salud de tus clientes, ¿verdad? Porque como dices, si tienen diabetes, thyroid, high blood pressure, like those are things that you have to know before working on someone.
Yeah. It's a big red flag, and it's something that I feel like a lot of them don't do it. But I know when I was trained, she educated me, and she'd be like, "You have to." Porque you don't want this to come back at you if that person gets sick. Y por la misma razón, así como I'm doing a session, your health is valuable. Like, I don't want to make you sick or no quiero ponerme en una posición de que yo me voy a sentir mal. Oh, I could have prevented it. You know, like it's better to take your time and ask these questions de que te arrepientas después.
Yeah. So how do you make sure, you know, that your clients are being honest, or how is it that you...
So when I'm texting, I always get girls texting me, and then they ask me a lot of questions. So like we go back and forth for weeks, and like I tell girls, don't feel bad, ask me questions, and I slowly start to ask it. Like, are you diabetic? Are you high blood pressure? And they say yes or no. Then I start asking, like, do you go to the doctor? When was your last A1C? Because that's how you're gonna know if you are diabetic. A1C son cada 90 días, cada 6 meses. So les pregunto, ¿cuándo fue la última vez que te lo hiciste? And what medications you're on, just to double check. And that helps a lot. I feel like como que hace la persona pensar like, oh, sí le importa. No es solo de que, oh, voy a hacer esto. I take my time to know the client and them trusting me, de que puedan confiar un poquito. Porque una cosa es de que we're texting back and forth for a couple weeks, a month, because it takes a while before girls come in.
Yeah.
And then when they come in, I do the same thing. I have this consent, and I go through every question. I already talk with them, and I'll be like, ¿Tienes diabetes? ¿Tienes alta presión? ¿Qué medicamento tomas? And then I start to check, like I pay attention, like finger pokes or like open wounds, para ver si es cierto o no, you know, like no, me están diciendo la verdad.
Claro.
And I always, like, on their stomach, I always make sure that there's not bruises or open wounds para no tocar o lastimar más. Yeah.
Entonces también tienes esto en papel, so you have this consent form.
I do. I make them, we go through it, pregunto las preguntas, les pido permiso de tomar fotos y ponerlas en social media. Como les digo a las muchachas, yo no quiero poner una foto y que tú te sientas mal. I'm not gonna tag you, I'm not gonna attach you, or I'm not gonna be like, oh, fulanita vino y yo le hice esta sesión, and I tag her. Like, no, that's not me.
Privacy of client.
Yeah, like, como en la clínica, you have HIPAA violation.
Yeah.
So I have my HIPAA violation. Like, I won't go there and tag you until people and show your photos. Like, no. Yo sé que es tomarte una foto y decirte, wow, like, that doesn't look good. Or I don't feel beautiful, or like, no me gustó esa foto, bórrala. So I don't want them to feel like that. I want them to feel comfortable, be like, okay, tómala. And they know I won't attach them. They know, like, como les digo, it's your choice si les quieres poner like. It's your choice si la quieres share. But I'm not forcing you, and I'm not asking you that either. So
that's very thoughtful of you.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I understand that. Especially because I've gotten massages by you, and sometimes I'm like, hold on, I have tattoos. Like, can we do something here?
Yes.
Not because I'm afraid to show, you know, my body, but I think that, you know, everyone is going through a different journey that they want to feel comfortable.
And I
if
think
they post a picture.
I think we all have right to keep some privacy to ourselves.
Of course, yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with someone like you said, you don't want to show something, and we don't have to show it. It's like me, like you guys didn't know about my real name. Like I kept that private for a long
Mm-hmm.
time. Or like my kids. The other day I had a girl ask like, "La niña que pusiste es tu niña?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's mi niña." It's like we all have rights to have a little bit of privacy and
Of
share
course.
just a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said you are in the medical field.
Yeah.
Is that something that you implement in your business, or why is it that you work in the medical field? What is it that you do?
So a little backup story. When I was 17, and it was like January 2000, like 10, I think. There was a really bad snowstorm, and my mom had a car accident. Y de ahí quedó paralyzed. To bring her home and to not have her in a nursing home, I had to learn how to do a lot of stuff. So I always joke with all my friends, like, I'm a nurse. I'm a certified hands-on nurse. Porque I know how to do suprapubics. I know how to do catheters. I know how to do feeding tubes. Y son cosas que you have to be in a medical field to know.
Mm-hmm.
And us as Latinos, I feel like we take our family very serious. It doesn't matter what age you are. Like, family's family, and you keep them home no matter what. Cuando mi mamá tuvo ese accidente, estuve en coma 6 meses. The doctors la querían desconectar. We had my little brother, which was 2 back then. And I promised myself that I would never let my mom go to a nursing home. Tenía que aprender lo que tenía que hacer to bring her home. We knew she was paralyzed. We didn't know how bad it was until she woke up 6 months later. We found out that she was a C3, which technically is you can move your shoulders, but you can't move your arms or hands. So she would be able to go like this. Podía platicar cuando pasó eso, and then slowly just things kind of went downhill like any person that gets really sick. Strokes, heart attacks, seizures, long journey in the hospital for months, weeks. And passionate to know more.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if I do this? Or what happens if I learn this? Or like, how long can I keep my mom? Or medications. Like, I found out that my mom was allergic to 10 medications that were very important for infections. And I feel like esto ayuda con mi business. No es solo de, let me do the session on you. It's about diabetes, high blood pressure, thyroid, what medication you're on, how can it affect you? Are you going to get an allergy reaction? Like, how can I stop it? You know, stuff like that. So I feel like medical field plays a lot in this. And you need a lot of anatomy. Like, when you go to the medical field, you have to know anatomy.
Mm-hmm.
So anatomy falls into body sculpting. Like, qué lugar tienes tus organs, qué puedes lastimar, qué no puedes lastimar. So cositas así, like, I am blessed. I'm not blessed that I lost my mom because of a car accident, but I'm blessed that I had a mom that pushed me to be better and pushed me to, tienes que aprender más, no te quedes ahí. Like, my mom wanted to be an artist. She wanted to be like a cooker. She wanted to have her own restaurant. My mom had big dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Y cuando pasó ese accidente, I started thinking, like, I grew up making tamales every holiday, and I hated it. I hated it so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I look back and I'm like, my mom taught me to be humble. My mom taught me that no importa de dónde vienes o cómo agarras el dinero, hay que aceptarlo porque es tu realidad and it makes you be the person you are, you know? And I look at it and I'm like, thank you, Mom. Because I'm the person who I am right now. Like, I appreciate what I do. Y por ella aprendí todo lo que sé. Like, I went to medical school because of her. I did my business because of her. I take my stuff very serious, and I think you have seen how impatient I am. Cuando digo quiero hacer esto es porque lo voy a hacer. It doesn't matter si te digo en un mes, en una semana ya lo hice.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that's just who I am. Like, I'm just very impatient. Like, not too long ago puse el quote about being ambitious of wanting more.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about money-wise. It's about learning more. How to be better. How to be more wiser in life. Like, si esto me afecta ahorita, ¿cómo lo puedo cambiar para el futuro para que no me afecte?
Mm-hmm.
And I had a really rough childhood, and I remind my siblings and I remind my dad all the time, we didn't have a normal life, which is fine. Because what is a normal life? Mm-hmm. Lo que es normal para ti no puede ser normal para mí. I grew up with a paralyzed mom and taking her to doctor's appointments and going to work from 6 in the morning and coming back at 9 o'clock and being up all night with her and giving her medications. And then I still went to school. I still had 2 kids like that. I graduated with the leadership and coordinating program. I did my business. So it's motivating myself to be better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you have so many talents.
I do.
I mean, what else do you do?
I love to cook.
Wow, we're going to have to try those tamales.
Yeah. I love to cook.
So you had mentioned earlier about your husband.
Yeah.
That he would also tell you, like, or he tells you, like, you're so impatient, right?
Yeah.
So what role does your husband have in your business?
I would say he's my backup.
Your backup?
Yeah, he's my backbone. He's the one that has, oh my God.
It's okay.
Honestly, he's, like I tell him all the time, I don't know what I would do without him. I don't know, like, since day one that I met him, I remember really clear, and we joke about it all the time. I was a minor, and he's 6 years older than me. We were working at this company, and I would avoid him because, you know, Hispanics, like, es moreno. Like, what is your family gonna say? Like, te van a juzgar. Like, es un moreno, bueno para nada. Like, no te va a ofrecer nada. And I was so afraid of giving him a chance. Y me acuerdo que un día, it was a Friday, and he's like, what are you going to do tomorrow? And I'm like, I'm just going to be home. I have to take care of my mom. And he's like, let me take you to the movies. And I'm like, no, that's a big no. And he's like, why? And I started explaining, pero como Latina, como que te da un poco de vergüenza decir, hey, you know, my parents are racist in a way. You can't come to my house. I can't date you. Termina de que he didn't take a no.
Oh, no.
No. He
Not accepted.
Not accepted, did not agree. He let it be. He's like, okay, it's fine. Have a good weekend. And the week after, a Saturday, we get a knock on the door. And my little sister opens the door. And she's like, Cynthia, there's someone out there. And my dad, like, of course, Hispanic dad, starts cussing que quien estaba en la puerta because nobody knocks. We don't invite nobody. My mom's critically ill. So, like, we keep ourselves very separate from people. Termina de que he was right there. And my dad's like, ¿Quién es este moreno? Like, who is he? So then I started explaining that he was a coworker. And my mom's like all excited porque le gustan los morenitos. She's like, let him in. Yo lo quiero conocer. ¿Cómo se llama? And termina de que le dicen su nombre y mi mamá le puso apodo Lucas. Y termina de que he asked my parents for permission to take me to the movies. My dad, it was obvious, like, no. And mi mamá, no, yeah, it's okay. You can go to the movies. Just bring her back home at 8 o'clock. And it was like 5 p.m. And I was so embarrassed. I was in shorts, tank top. I went back into my room, put a sweater and a pants on. And my dad's yelling at me in frente de él. And he's like, what are you saying? What are you saying? What did I do wrong? And I told him, you didn't do anything wrong. It's just my dad doesn't okay it. And he's like, well, I'm just going to take you to the movies. He's like, we can take your sister. And mi papá le dijo que no. So he walks out the door and he sends me a message saying, I'm sorry. I didn't think your parents would be upset. And then my mom's like, ve, pero te quiero tal hora en la casa. And then all I can hear is my mom and dad going back and forward, back and forward. And my sister's like, just go. So me fui. We went to go watch the movie, which was The Hobbit. Like, that was our first date. Y desde ahí termina de que he's been my lifesaver. He's shown me that I need to slow it down, which I don't know how to slow it down. But he knows how to tell me, hey, take it easy. It's okay. If it doesn't happen today, it's going to happen tomorrow. Or, like, mistakes happen. It's okay. We're not perfect. Y yo me acuerdo creciendo, like, I wanted the best for my family. I wanted to be perfect for my mom. Like, I wanted to be that perfect child. And what is perfect? You know, like, nobody's perfect out there. We all make mistakes. We all fall and get up and learn from our lessons. And since then, like, I always joke with him, I don't know what I would do without you. Like, me pongo a pensar, like, cuando lo conocí, nunca me prometió casa, nunca me prometió carro, estudio, hijos, travel. No me prometió nada. I don't even have a ring yet, but my promise rings are my kids. the moment that I had him, he promised me that he would never walk away, and that there was my 2 rings. And I joke with him, like, I want a real ring. I want to wear my ring. And he's like, you get to carry your rings everywhere you go. Y creciendo, nunca le puse atención a eso, like, how valuable that is. Like, it's not a ring that I'm wearing, but it's a ring I get to see grow. Y son mis 2 niños. Tengo un niño de 8 años y una niña de 3. And when I tell people that I'm married, by law I'm not married, culturally I'm married. Y it's been a blessing to get to know him and to be the person I am, and to know that I'm my family's backbone, but I can rely on him and he's my backbone. And
so he definitely plays a big role on your business.
He does.
And when you say that, like I can't slow down, does that mean that when you first started your business, like you started only doing like one thing? Because you mentioned you do so many, right?
I do 1,000 things in one day. So, haz de cuenta de que I work 2 jobs. I work with kids Monday through Thursday, and it's a normal 8, like I clock in at 7:30. 6 or 7:30 depending on the day, and I'm off by 4:30 or 6. Dependiendo el día, I go from there to urgent care. And then urgent care, we treat whatever walks in through the door. So that job starts from 5 to 8 p.m. or 9, dependiendo que quieras terminamos. So if you ask me if I slow it down, no. I'm from one job to another to go. I come home, I make sure that my kids eat, make sure that the house is clean, make sure everything's ready for tomorrow. So I'm going to bed around 9, 10, 11, the latest. And then I'm up again at 12:30 to go pick up my suegros from work. And then I come back home at 1, and then everything starts all over the next day at 5:30 in the morning when I wake up. So I'm always on the go. I'm always like, go, 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 let's get this done. And if I have a list that I have to do, I'm not happy hasta que termine esa list. Even if it's my one day off, I do it.
So you mentioned you have all these jobs, right? Which props to you. You know, that's very, to me, that's admirable. Yeah. So when do you focus on your business? Like when is it that, or I don't know, do you have plans to be in a full-time on your business?
So the goal is that my part-time, my job, like my business, and it's going to take over my part-time.
Okay.
So I'm a 0.3 in my part-time, which is I work every other Friday and every Saturday.
Okay.
Por eso es de que no tomo citas on Fridays and Saturdays. But technically I'm open Monday through Thursday and Sundays. I like to leave my Sundays open por la razón de que si les estoy diciendo a las muchachas no coman, no tomen gaseosa, no tomen soda, café, at least you get to go early in the morning, and then once you get out of the session, you can do whatever you want. You know, like, no, I don't want to be like, it's 5 p.m., you can't eat. You know, like, I want you to start your morning, like, estar ayunas, and then go on with your day, enfajarte y hacer lo que tengas que hacer. That's kind of the way I see it. Okay. And then afternoons when I have sessions are usually ladies that work 2 jobs and no tienen tiempo para venir. Y so cuando me mandan un text or like a message to be like, hey, do you do a 6 o'clock appointment or 7? I have had sessions at 8 p.m. at night, and I'm like, I'll take them. Porque es la hora que tú puedes. Si yo sé cómo está de complicado mi schedule, like, me imagino el schedule de otra persona. You know, so I try to be flexible in that way. Like, I don't want to be like, this is my time and that's it. Like, no. Like,
so your goal is to eventually just be full-time on your business? Yeah.
That's the goal. Yeah. Like, I don't know when we'll be, today, tomorrow, in the future, but that's the goal. I want my business to take over.
Okay. So was that something that scared you at first when you first started your business?
To be honest, I started the business as a hobby.
Okay.
Like, no lo empecé like, this is my goal. Like, when I started my business a year ago, when I got on that plane to go to Vegas on May, I'm like, okay, this is just going to be a hobby, a little extra money. I love to travel, so I was telling my husband, like, this is going to be our money to travel. And he would just laugh at me. He's like, haz lo que quieras. Que tú digas. And then I look back, and I'm like, no, this is not what I want. I want this to become, I want to be home more. Siento de que desde los 17 años trabajo 2 trabajos. Y quiero llegar al punto de que I'm home with my kids. I want to enjoy my kids. I don't want to be like my parents growing up and like they're always working. Like, a los 12 años tuve que empezar a hacer arroz sazonar el pollo, cocinar, and make sure that the food was ready. I don't want my kids to be that. I want my kids to grow up and enjoy being a kid. And
so make your own schedule to spend more time with your family.
And hopefully that gets to be that the thing that happens in the future, you know, like my goal is hopefully in unos 3 años I can be like, okay, aquí llego. Here's my 2-week notice. My job is taking over, you know? Se siente bonito decir I have a business growing. Like I don't really talk about it at work, but a lot of girls that have catched on, se siente bonito que te pregunten.
How's your business going?
How's your business? Or like, ¿qué vas a meter? Como ahorita quiero meter 2 more sessions, EMS machine, y que ayuda a quemar grasa, y te ayuda a moldear los músculos, and it goes on 12 sessions, so it's 12 sessions in a row. You take a 90-day break, and then another 12 sessions in a row. Y también I'm gonna add skin lightening. You know, like you can do them on your elbows, your knees, your armpits, your private parts. Y son cositas que a veces te pones a pensar, like, this is a everyday need que tú o yo, otra persona lo puede tener. So quiero poder llegar a ese momento de decir, okay, I'm going to work from 7 in the morning and 2 p.m. is my last appointment and I'm going home, which I have never done in my life.
Well, I'm sure it's going to happen soon.
Yes. Yeah.
So I want to ask you a question. What is something that you would tell yourself when you first started like your business? What is like something different that you wish you would have done? An advice that you would tell yourself if you could go back a year from now?
Oh, I would tell myself a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would say, I think first I would say, don't be so hard on yourself. I feel like I expect so much of me. Y no me doy cuenta how much I already do. So I feel like that would be my first, like, stop expecting, stop being hard on yourself. La otra is believe in yourself. It took my partner to be like, you got this. Stop doubting yourself. Or like my friends, like telling me, I told my best friend, like, hey, I'm thinking of doing this. Todos me dijeron, like, what are you waiting on? Do it. Jump on it. Pero esa espinita en tu corazón or like your mente, like, what am I doing? Like, am I going to do this? Like, va a salir adelante? Voy a poder hacerlo? Like, como que stops you, slows you down. So I would say, believe in yourself, do it, jump on it really quick. I can tell you that starting my business took a year. And then I booked my training on December when I asked my mom for permission. And she's like, I don't know what you're waiting on, do it. When I heard that from her, como que like, okay, do it. Like I didn't even hesitate. I le mandé un mensaje a la muchacha, I booked it, and then I did it for May. I came back. Me acuerdo que le celebramos el cumpleaños a mi esposo, and then he gave me a month. And he's like, I need you to have a plan. I need you to tell me what you're going to buy, and what else do you need me to do? I didn't know where to start. Like, when he was telling me all this, like, no había pensado ese momento. So I feel like if I would go back, I would, like, make a list and be like, okay, necesito esto. Voy a empezar a hacer esto. And just be a little less hard, you know? Like, I feel like I'm so hard on myself. And that people that know me know, like, I have this bitch face because I get it a lot. Like, I have a bitch face. But I'm so sweet and nice on the inside. Y soy bien llorona. Like, anything makes me cry. Anything bugs me. And que you see a bitch face, like, I always melt down. And I have cried so many nights and being like, okay, what's next? Or, like, Dios, ¿qué estoy haciendo mal? Like, no tengo un cliente. Pero de repente me llega una muchacha preguntando. Like, so it's just slow it down and believe in myself a little more.
Yeah, definitely believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Have you had any, like, I don't know, any crazy experience with the client?
Oh.
Or something that you're like, oh, man, like, I can't believe this just happened with, you know, with my client.
Yes, I did. This one girl, like, me acuerdo que me preguntó, like, she asked me 1,000 questions, y yo, like, llegué al punto que le digo a mi esposa, I don't even want to book her. Like, she was, but now I sit there and think back, because this is, like, a year ago. En el momento, I didn't want to book her. Like, las preguntas que me estaba haciendo was making me uncomfortable. Like, does this work? How do you know it works? Why are you charging this? Si no me gusta, me vas a regresar mi dinero. And as a starting your business, como que you don't value yourself. Like, you take the client's opinion very serious. Y como que te duele. Like, okay, I don't want to make her feel bad. Like, I don't want her to feel like I'm just taking her money. Y me acuerdo que le dije a la muchacha, like, si no te gusta, te regreso tu dinero. And when she came in, I showed her the pictures, which no se le miraba mucho el cambio, but then I showed her, like, mi seña es el belly button. Like, I always like to look at the belly button por la razón de que siento de que hay personas que lo viene como grandecito, viene, like, really circle, like, y cuando you contour, como que se moldea más pequeño. Or, like, se hace oval, like, depende el cuerpo de la muchacha. Y me acuerdo que ese día me dijo, I didn't see a difference. And I don't feel like I want to pay you. Y me acuerdo que le dije, le digo, I understand, le digo yo, pero al mismo tiempo yo te dije de que I don't promise you changes. It takes more than one session. Le digo, you even signed a contract cuando empezamos. Te dije, it takes 3 to 5 sessions para que tú puedas ver algo. Es depende de tu cuerpo como lo tome. Y como que she wasn't ready for it. Like, como que se quedó like, oh, okay. Like, y ya me pagó. And 2 weeks later, she booked me again. Which I was in shock. Me quedé like, what the hell? Like, ¿para qué vienes? Like, no te gustó? Like, like, no. Sentí, like, I was confused in that moment. Y me dijo mi esposo, tómalo como experiencia. Aprende de ella. Porque estas preguntas que te está haciendo ella, it could be that she's just testing you to see if you're willing to manejar tu business correctly. Like, are you going to let someone walk all over you? ¿O lo vas a hacer la forma correcta como un business? Y me acuerdo que cuando me dijo eso, me quedé como like, okay, I need to believe in myself. And it's not what she wants. It's about what I expect también. So me acuerdo que llegó and she's like, hey girl, she's like, I'm so excited. I want to do this one now. And like, it was a whole different session. So me acuerdo que lo hice. And then she's like, okay, she's like, I see a little change, but you're going to see me in a couple weeks. Y me acuerdo que cada vez que venía, it was different questions and different questions. Hasta que un día me dijo ella, I'm sorry if I made you feel uncomfortable, but I wanted to push your buttons. Y me quedé like, why? She's like, because you're too nice. And she's like, there's going to be girls out there that are going to piss you off, and you got to keep yourself professional, and you did it good. She's like, I know it made you feel uncomfortable, and you didn't know when to answer me, pero lo hiciste bien. And now I look back, and I thank God que I booked her. Even though in the moment no lo quería hacer.
Yeah.
Even though in the moment la miraba.
It's kind of scary.
It was super scary. Miraba sus mensajes. I'm like, okay, esta girl otra vez. Pero I look back and I thank her. Like, fue una de mis primeritas clientes de que she was there all the time. Y me enseñó mucho. Y se lo agradezco mucho a esa muchacha. Y ella bien sabe, llega and like, llegamos como panas, like, llega desnudándose y yo like, okay, hold on, let me measure you, let me take a picture of you. Ya
like, sabe la rutina.
Ya sabe la rutina, ya sabe. She's like, I didn't eat, I drink water, like, no tomé anoche, like, so it's like.
So that's where it comes, where you have educated your clients very well, and they're returning clients.
Yeah, and it's nice because the first few sessions, como que you're like, okay, is she coming back? Is she not coming back? And I llegué al punto de que les digo a las muchachas, I want you to enjoy it, and I want you to trust the process, and I want you to get to your goal. Y lo que no te gusta, or like you think I need to do better, or like que quieres ver diferente, dímelo. I'm willing to do it because it takes a lot of compliments to get to where you want to be. And I feel like como humanos tenemos que poder tomar eso, like feedback. You know, it's not just about good way, it's also bad way. So you need to learn how to take it. Y it takes a lot to do that.
Exactly. It does. So is there anything that you want to promote or anything from your business that you wish people would know?
So like I said, I talked about a little bit about it. EMS. So it's a machine that does about 200 push-ups or contracts your stomach. Y te ayuda a quemar grasa. It builds your muscles. Like I said, it takes 12 sessions to do that. And then you give your body 90 days to break. So it takes about 12 rounds of sessions para poder ver el cambio. Y te va moldeando el cuerpo. I'm bringing that in. I just made my order. So I'm bringing it in hopefully in May or close to the end of May. and then skin lightening, which I will be bringing in soon. I'm just kind of waiting to train a little more, just to get a little more comfortable with it, porque son cremas, and it's delicate, you know. You have to be a little comfortable with the skin and know how to put it on and how to take it off. So hopefully by May I will be having 2 new products adding to the services.
And how are your clients able to book you, or how are they able to find you?
So I have a website connected on my bio, and Enhanced by Cindy Instagram, and you just click on it and then you pick the service you would like. It tells you how long the service is, the price, and if you have questions, you can just message me también. I usually tell them, or I like to screenshot and be like, hey, just click on this one and pick the time and date that you would like.
And do you have like a Facebook, or what other social media are people able to find you?
Currently, I'm just using Instagram and Facebook, and it's just called the same, Enhanced by Cindy.
Okay, so that's where they can find, your clients can find you. Well, is there any message that you would want to give your followers? No sé, unas palabras de inspiración que les quieras dar.
I would say believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Like, trust yourself, trust the process. It took a lot of me, and then to know that I was once there, I'm proud to say, do it. You know, like, don't stop yourself. And la vida es muy corta to stop yourself. Like, you got to be a step ahead of it and be like, hey, I'm ready. Let's do it. And so that's something I would tell them. If you have a goal or plan, go for it. Don't hesitate yourself.
Well, thank you so much, Cindy, for joining us today, and for sharing your story. It's really inspiring. And again, thank you guys for following us here in El Punto MN. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Igual en Instagram y TikTok nos pueden encontrar como El Punto MN. Igual en Facebook, El Punto MN. Y también no se les olvide seguirme en mi Instagram, que es LizJordan25. TikTok también LizJordan25. Y Facebook como Lizbeth Jordan.
Oh, thank you
Bye.
for having me.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you.
Las palabras se acabaron, ella me tomó del brazo. En minutos estábamos